Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. And on this video this morning, I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So this is your transfer daily show, keeping you up to date with what players are linked with Manchester United. And as you all know, we are well now into the January transfer window. But Manchester United are yet to make any signings in that. So on this video, like I said, I'm going to be giving you a bit more additional information regarding Bruno Fernandes. I'm also, going to be giving you some latest news regarding Jude Bellingham, who currently plays for Birmingham, and there's lots of other things to currently talk about. So first topic of the development, we'll start with is Bruno Fernandes. So reportedly, Man United are expected to sign Bruno Fernandes sometime this week. I was reading reports yesterday, and he did say that Bruno Fernandes is set to fly to Manchester to complete his move to Old Trafford. The vast majority of the stories that are coming out about Bruno Fernandes is actually stemming out from the Portuguese press. But I think it tends to be reliable, what's been coming out about Bruno Fernandes. He did say that Man United are determined to put a bid in of around £65 million for him. That does include add-ons, by the way, because I think, we are determined to pay around £50 million for Bruno Fernandes, but like I said, the rest will have add-ons included. Talks have been going on between Man United and Sporting Lisbon at least for the last couple of days. As you all know, Bruno Fernandes' agent, so to the Sporting Lisbon president, Federico Fernandes. It was on a Friday, by the way, Friday of last week, that they'd flown to England for talks with Ed Woodward and that regarding Bruno Fernandes. Don't forget, the other week, Solskjaer and Mike Phelan had flew to Portugal to watch Bruno Fernandes in action. Sporting Lisbon boss, by the way, he's had his overarching view on the speculation, and he still feels as though that Bruno Fernandes is still part of Sporting Lisbon's plans, and he's unsure about his future. So this is what the Sporting Lisbon boss has said. But like I said, we've been relentlessly linked with Bruno Fernandes. He's obviously now our number one priority target. We was in for him last season. We was relentlessly linked to him last summer. But the main factor reason why we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer is because obviously we didn't put an official bid in, and I don't think we was determined to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation. Don't forget, last summer City were in for him. Tottenham are in for him. We're in for him. I think Tottenham are back in for him now. Liverpool, of course, were in for him. But he ended up staying with Sporting Lisbon. He did allegedly say as well that we tried offering a players plus cash deal to Sporting Lisbon. We made an offer of a players plus cash deal involving Joe Pereira and Marcus Rojo, but obviously Sporting Lisbon allegedly did reject this. But Bruno Fernandes, to me, would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. Obviously he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. He's 25 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And obviously we need an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, because I think Paul Pogba is going to be definitely leaving the football club, and we do look very exposed in that midfield. With the injuries to Paul Pogba, he's out for another couple of weeks. Obviously, Tom Wayne is out until February. So, like I've said on my other videos, the only midfielders we can rely on at the moment is Fred, Matic, Pereira, and obviously, like I said, Pereira and Matic are two liabilities. And obviously, anyway, we need a replacement for Ander Herrera. But as you all know, I have got element of concerns about my midfield. Bruno Fernandes, I think now is into his third season with Sporting Lisbon. And I think, he's been a revelation in Portugal as Bruno Fernandes. But I think he needs to leave Sporting Lisbon anywhere to rejuvenate his career. But I think if he comes to the Premier League, Bruno Fernandes, he can replicate, what he's done in the couple of years. He has been with Sporting Lisbon. I think he's already scored, 13 goals this season for them and provided around 13 assists. I think last season in all competitions he scored them around their 32 goals. So he can score goals, he can create chances, and he's the type of player that Man United do need. He is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. He initially extended his contract in November of last year. And obviously, when he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in Italy with Udinese and Sampdoria, and I think also to Novria. But it's looking, very, very imminent. If they are to believe the narratives that are coming out about him, it's looking likely he's going to be our first signing in this January transfer window and our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Because, we got 3 signings in last summer, don't forget, and we spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire and that. But I would be happy if we did get Bruno Fernandes in, definitely, because I think we're seeing him as an alternative to, James Maddison, because obviously it's looking very unlikely that we're going to get James Maddison in this January transfer window. Obviously, we're not going to get Christian Eriksen, so this is why, we want to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. And I think Bruno Fernandes' initial release clause is around £85 million. But I think Bruno Fernandes anywhere wants to come to Manchester United because I think he's notified Sporting Lisbon. So that's the latest news regarding him. Maybe it won't be officially announced today, but it should be announced sometime this week, and that's if there's any trustworthy in what's coming out about it. So now I will mention Jude Bellingham, who currently plays for Birmingham. I've been reading reports this morning, and it has said from a couple of media outlets that Man United have made around the £12.5 million offer for Jude Bellingham. This offer, by the way, is it includes add-ons and bonuses. That does rise our offer to around £12.5 million. Now, reportedly, there's quite a few clubs in for him. I think it did say, Wolves have expressed their interest. I think Liverpool and Dortmund and all of that have expressed their interest in the player. He is a midfielder, is Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham made his senior debut for Birmingham in August 2019, so obviously that was last year. So actually this is his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. I think Jude Bellingham has played around 23 games so far this season for Birmingham. I think he started around 17 games, but he is only the age of 16. And don't forget, Solskjaer does want to continue the policy of recruiting young players into the football club. Like he did do last summer. He made his senior debut, by the way, at just the age of 16 years and 38 days. I think he actually made his senior debut in Birmingham's Carabao Cup game with Portsmouth, if I'm right. So now he's another player on Manchester United's agenda. Do you think Jude Bellingham is, at that level yet? Do you think he's ready for the Premier League? Do you think he'd be able to come to the Premier League and replicate, what he's been doing so far this season with Birmingham? You can say, he's a cheaper solution than that, and, maybe he can do well in the Premier League. Maybe he can, and obviously at some point, even if he doesn't leave this January, he's gonna want to rejuvenate his career, definitely. And don't forget, we got Daniel James from Swansea last summer, and of course, don't forget, he was in the Championship with Swansea, and I think he's replicating him. He's so far Daniel James this season. He's replicating, what he did do with Swansea. We paid, was it around 17 or 18 million pounds for Daniel James. Obviously, James is around 5 years older than, Jude Bellingham, but, he's still a very, very good player. So, would you like to see him at Manchester United? Let me know in the comments below. I already provided you with the news, didn't I, regarding Christian Eriksen. I updated you last week, what didn't I? It said allegedly, Man United had put around the £20 million bidding for Christian Eriksen, but reportedly, we'd ruled out a bid for the midfielder. It's looking very imminent that Christian Eriksen is going to be leaving Tottenham. But I'm very sceptical he's going to be coming to Manchester United. It looks more imminent that he's going to be going to Inter Milan. I was reading reports yesterday, and it did actually say that Inter Milan are willing to offer him around a 4.5 year deal, and I think he's actually agreed this 4.5 year deal. Christian Eriksen's held further more negotiations with Milan, and I think now the negotiations are at an advanced stage. And his agent last week, Christian Eriksen's flew to Milan to obviously hold negotiations. But I think Tottenham have come to accept the fact that he doesn't want to stay there. From Tottenham's perspective, obviously, anywhere they'd want to cash in for him in this January transfer window rather than letting go on a free transfer at the end of the season, because at the end of the season, Christian Eriksen's current contract does expire. But he's been a long-serving player for Tottenham. Eriksen has served, 6 years with Tottenham. He's now into his 7th season with them. And, I think he's becoming really, really poor now. And Eriksen's obviously made around 223 appearances in the Premier League for Tottenham and scored around 51 goals. And I think he's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions. And he's, of course, 27 years of age. Tottenham now are obviously in the market to look for a replacement for Eriksen. Like I said, this is why they're probably backing for Bruno Fernandes. Also, they're in for Gedson Fernandes from Benfica. Tottenham did make some signings last summer. They got Lo Celso from Betis. They obviously got Sessegnon from Fulham. They got Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon and that. So they did make some good signings, did Tottenham, but they need a replacement for Christian Eriksen. So looking likely, Man United are obviously not going to get him. So yeah, Solskjaer, has actually, promised signings at Manchester United this month. As long as it's the right calibre players for the right type of money, he has assured that signings will be made. It was worrying what Solskjaer came out with not too long ago, because he actually said that he'd warned the fans, that we do not expect many signings in this January transfer window, but we have got to get the right calibre players in, that can elevate us forward and get us back to being a competitive elite level football club and get us back, up there challenging for major honours. Because I think, we need at least 5 to 6 more signings anywhere if we are to be back to being a competitive elite level football club. But I know a lot of United fans, are demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, due to our inconsistency for the vast majority of this season. But obviously, our board and Ed Woodward are determined to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a couple of windows. So they're determined to back him in this January transfer window. They're also determined to back him in the summer. Because Solskjaer, realistically, should address the problems, within these 3 years he's got at the club. Because obviously, Solskjaer has got a 3-year contract with Man United. He'd been given this 3-year contract when he had been given the job in March of last year. So Solskjaer now, of course, has been permanent manager for almost 10 months. He's obviously been at the football club over the year. He's been here now for around 13 months. And Solskjaer is aware that he's got a lot of expectations to exceed. But my own perception is, I just feel as though that the expectations are too high for him at Manchester United, definitely. I don't only think, incomings are needed, though. I think, we also need to keep focused on the outgoings. I know a lot of players have left since Solskjaer's arrival. Yes, they have, but, there's still problematic players at Manchester United, and I don't think Solskjaer is determined to let any players go in this January transfer window, unless, we can make some signings. So this is obviously, what he has confirmed. But like I said overall anyway, I think we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. As you all saw in our 4-0 win against Norwich at the weekend, you saw a lot of our fans protesting, Ed Woodward and the Glazers. So what they mean in that aspect is that, they want Ed Woodward and the Glazers out of the football club, because you heard the Man United fans, chanting, where the Glazers out. So I think we need to get rid of them, definitely. I think we also need to get rid of our board. because our current board have been a liability for several years. I think we also need a change of management. You know, like I said, I don't think Solskjaer is a long-term solution for Man United, but I'm very, very sceptical that, you know, that our board will sack him, especially at this present time. So I still think Solskjaer will be here in January. I still think he will be here at the end of the season, but I'm very sceptical that he will see out his 3-year contract at the club, unless obviously, you know, we can turn things around and we, you know, can find that consistency. And Solskjaer, you know, recently, you know, give us an update on our top 4 ambitions, and he's convinced we can get it as long as, you know, we can keep the consistency up. But, you know, we are struggling to keep the consistency up and all that. You know, we are 5th in the Premier League. We are around 5 points behind Chelsea, so we're definitely still in that top 4 race, and we can get that top 4. But I did say, didn't I, at the start of this season, I said, you know, our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. Maybe perhaps get some silverware on the board, because Solskjaer not too long ago spoken about the importance of us getting silverware on the board, because we have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. You know, I think we've won around, is it 40? You know, I've won around, I think, is it around 41 or 42 major honours, you know, including what won under Ferguson. Obviously, I think won around 30 odd major honours under the Ferguson era. And obviously, since Ferguson left, we won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal, you know, won the Europa League and the League Cup in Jose Mourinho's first season and that. So, and there's a chance we can get some silverware on the board this season. It's looking very, very unlikely now that we're going to get the Carabao Cup. It's looking like we're out of the Carabao Cup. Obviously, you know, we've got a chance of the Europa League. That's another route to Champions League football for us. So, you know, there's obviously, you know, we have got quite a few ambitions. You know, now you can maybe say that the FA Cup is an ambition for us. I don't see, you know, Man United winning it, but you know, you never know. You never know, guys, like I said. But yeah, and, you know, like I said, Solskjaer isn't the right man for Man United. You know, he hasn't got a pedigree behind him. He hasn't, you know, he hasn't really got that managerial experience in that, and that's my element of concern. So I just don't think he has any intuition on how to manage. I thought he was a great player for us for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. But like I've said on numerous occasions, I think Solskjaer as a manager is totally comparison to how he was as a player. Because like I said, as a player, he has got that proven pedigree. But I think us changing management, you know, wouldn't really solve a lot of problems at the club, because due to our inconsistency for the vast majority of the season, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. I think, you know, everyone else has to take responsibility. You know, quite a lot of the players, the board, Ed Woodward, the Glazers and all that. So not all of the blame does stem from Solskjaer. But like I said to you, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Like I've said, at this present time, there's only 3 players that are his. And they're the 3 players, you know, that he did recommend into the football club last summer. You know, the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. So Solskjaer, of course, you know, wants to, you know, rebuild his own team, basically. But, you know, Solskjaer, like I said, when he first came in, I said it then, he's inheriting a pretty decent squad, because we have got a lot of good players. But for the vast majority of this season, you know, they just haven't been playing as a unit. But I think we've spent, you know, about £1 billion, or almost £1 billion, on recruiting new additions in over the years. Not only that, you know, we've also got our players on big contracts. Definitely, and I think this year, including what we're going to spend in the summer, we're going to spend a substantial amount on recruiting new players in. An estimated guess, you know, I think we'll spend from 250 to 300 million pounds on recruiting, you know, new players. To the football club and that. You know, but, you know, my perceptions were different regarding Solskjaer, you know, when he first came in, because he was fantastic when he first came in, you know, because as interim manager, he did really, really well in that 3-month period. You know, the results were good, the performances were good, he got the best out of these group of players, and he exceeded expectations. But since he's got the job permanently, everything has just seemed to all gone wrong. And, you know, we've endured a difficult start to 2020. Obviously, we beat Norwich at the weekend 4-0. That was obviously not our first win of 2020 in that. But we're 4 games now into 2020. Well, we've played 4 games in all competitions so far in 2020. But I'm hopeful this year that we can enjoy a better year than what we saw last year. Don't forget, we are in a transition period, and Solskjaer is hopeful, that we can get through this transition period. But I do feel as though that, it's going to take us several years, at least a couple of years, to get us to that level where we want to be. We need to emulate that level, because obviously at the moment City is strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us. But let's see who we can get, and if we can get Bruno Fernandes, that's a good start to the January transfer window. It's not assured, like I said, that we will get Bruno Fernandes. Some people believe from their overarching views, though, why Man United have been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season is obviously, due to the amount of injuries they've had. Also, don't forget, we've got a lot of young players that are obviously, developing and trying to improve. So people are maybe saying that's the explanation, why we've been inconsistent. But from my perception, I can't say that's excusable. That's probably excusable, because we should be still in much more commanding a position, than winning now and that. But, that's one of the aspects of me, that do credit Solskjaer. He has got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. He has, and, when at the start of this season, he did confirm that the young players, would get given their opportunities this season. To be fair, the young players have been given their opportunities, But I think the young players that are going to become a success at the football club, I think Mason Greenwood's going to become a success. He's doing really, really well. And as I think Greenwood develops more, he will emulate to Rashford and Martial's level. I think he'll probably not end up overtaking them. Mason Greenwood is now on 9 senior goals for the football club this season. He's done really, really well. I think he needs to play more regularly in the Premier League. Brandon Williams has done well. Solskjaer now views Brandon Williams as his first choice left back. Yes, he does. Tuanzebe has been injured, and he's injured still. Now he's had a few injuries this season, but I think in the games he's played and he's done well. James Garner's done well. Angel Gomez has been playing in the last couple of games. He's come off the bench a few times, which is good. I did say, when was Solskjaer, going to be convinced to give Angel Gomez his opportunities in that. So there's a lot of young players in the squad, definitely. I've got some element of concerns about some of the young players, so it would be beneficial if we did loan some of the young players out this year, definitely. But yeah. But like I've said to you, I feel as though the players that need to go, I think Young needs to go. Don't forget, there's been a lot of speculation about him joining Inter Milan. Recently, he did say, Crystal Palace and Lazio vented the race for Ashley Young. His current contract does expire at the end of the season. Does Ashley Young's, and he did say, Inter Milan are set to sign him on a free transfer at the end of the season. I think Inter Milan's preference is that they would want to sign him this month rather than at the end of the season, but we're reluctant to let Young go in this January transfer window, reflecting on the injuries that Man United have got. Young, of course, has been a long-serving player at Manchester United. He's now into his 9th season at the club. He's enjoyed 8 years here, and he's predominantly a right-back, but he's no longer our first choice, because since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka, he's been established as our first choice right-back. But Young last season was our first choice right-back. Young's made a total of 261 appearances for Man United in all competitions. We recently offered him a new 1-year extension, but reportedly, Ashley Young had turned this 1-year extension down. But Young's now 34. He's 35 sometime this year, and he's basically past his sell-by date at the football club. So Inter Milan are still, I think, have been in talks over getting him. Inter Milan, don't forget, got Lukaku and Sanchez off us last summer as well. So Inter Milan have got quite a few players on their agenda. So Ashley Young needs to go. I think Jones needs to go. I've got element of concerns about him. Perhaps maybe Rojo. Matic, I've got element of concerns about him. Jesse Lingard as well. You've obviously got a lot of United fans demanding Jesse Lingard out. As you all know, Jesse Lingard was dropped in the game against Norwich. Obviously, due to his inconsistency, and I think Mike Phelan and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are becoming more infuriated with Jesse Lingard and that. And like I said, reflects on his status at the club. Lingard should be putting much more better performances out, because Lingard has been here for several years. I do believe he's also been out of illness as Jesse Lingard again. But we need to consider, getting rid of him definitely. Yeah, so there's definitely still players that need to leave the football club. There's still players I would keep, definitely. I think Rashford's a long-term solution for Man United. Rashford's in scintillating form this season. I think he's scored around 14 Premier League goals this season. I think around 17 or 18 in all competitions. And in total now, Rashford is on 63 senior goals for the club since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. But so far to this point, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. But for me now, I think Rashford operates better out wide. And I think Martial, does really, really well in that central role, because Martial had been given that number 9 shirt at the start of this season. Yeah, Rashford's done well. And that was Rashford's 200th appearance against Norwich at the weekend. 200th appearance against Norwich at the weekend, and that, I think Martial's on around 59 senior goals for the club since his arrival from Monaco back in 2015. So I definitely would keep them two. I would keep the 3 signings that recommended in. I'd keep Lindelof because he's done really well alongside Maguire at the back. I'd definitely keep McTominay because I think before he got injured, he did really, really well in our midfield and that. So, yeah, these still definitely players I would keep. I'd keep a lot of the young players as well. Definitely in that. But yeah, there's still a lot of players that need to leave Manchester United. We've got Wolves coming up in the FA Cup third round replay at Old Trafford. Yeah, your preview should be coming up for that either later on today or it will be tomorrow. More likely, it will be today though. Obviously, the winners out of us and Wolves play the winners of Watford and Tranmere in the FA Cup fourth round and that. But in this replay, we need to see a total comparison performance to what we saw at Molineux, because it was 0-0 at Molineux and it was an absolutely abysmal performance from Man United. We didn't register one single shot on target in that. But it'll be a difficult game, like I said. I know Wolves did beat Newcastle at the weekend. We're going into the Wolves game on the back of a 4-0 win against Norwich. But, like I say, Wolves are a good side. They've got a good manager. They've got some good players. They enjoyed a good FA Cup run last season. They got to the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time last season in 21 years. We know there'll be no Pogba for Wolves. There'll be no McTominay, definitely. I don't think Bay's ready yet. Bay, on last Friday, played for the under-23s. So too did Fossil-Mento, I think. I still think, they won't be available, but they are closer to returning. I think, Rojo is still out, But yeah, I think Solskjaer, will make some changes, from the 4-0 win against Norwich. I think he'll rest some, key players because he's aware that Liverpool is on the horizon. Liverpool's going to be a very, very big game on Sunday for us. And obviously it's a game we do have to win, but I think a lot of Man United fans will go into that game with a lot of negativity because Liverpool are the only team that haven't lost this season. They've won 21 games out of 21 in the league. They're unbeaten in 38 Premier League games. They're unbeaten in like 51 games at Anfield, so it's going to be an extremely difficult game in that. And yeah, so we need to focus on this Wolves game anyway. So anyway, that's everything to update you today regarding the transfers and everything else. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.